of Kent today. I hope that's the annoying voice to let you know that we are recording today. I hope you've all got some sunshine in wherever you are, wherever this is being relayed to you. A very warm welcome from Team Chamber today. We have Molly Hall with us, who looks after things, keeps me on track and does the timing, who does a superb job. And of course, we have Dan, who requires no introduction. Because it's a fairly small group, I was just wondering, would you guys just very quickly like to introduce yourselves? If you could unmute this morning. So Dominic.
Hello, hi everyone. Yeah, my name's Dominic Rees-Roberts. I'm the owner of Border Point Films, a new creative agency and video production company in Ashford. So we make cinematic content to help raise the profile of your business.
That's really useful. It helps Dan kind of personalise it and also get to know you, because Dan may not know everyone. Mr. Paul Greengrass, lovely to have you with us, sir. Tell us what you do very quickly.
Yeah, so Paul Greengrass, I'm the company owner and director of QS Support Limited. We're quantity surveyors and cost consultants based in Maidstone in Kent. Been going for about 10 years now, and we offer quantity surveying and estimating advice to contractors, developers, architects and subcontractors in the construction industry.
Thank you. David, if you could kindly unmute, sir. David, you've got to flick your little icon.
Yep, there we are.
Good morning.
Hi there. David
if you could introduce yourself to Dan.
Yep, run an SEO and PPC and SEO training and consultancy business, Dan.
Thank you so much. And Laura from Oakmoor. I'm surprised you've got time to join us today, because everything's growing wonderfully. Tell Dan what you do.
Good morning, everyone. My name's Laura Anstis and I'm a garden landscape designer.
Thank you so much. Isabella, good morning.
Morning, everyone. My name is Isabelle Berrier. I work for a company called Stone Systems Limited, and we provide MiraShare, which is a health and safety software.
Thank you so much. Jen, very, very loyal chamber event attendee. Jen Howell, good morning to you.
Hi, Kaz. Hi, everyone. My name's Jen Howell, and I'm one half of Howell & Hicks Creative. We're a deal-based graphic design agency, making our clients' businesses look better.
Thank you. Mr. John Forbes, who is our permanent competition winner. He is just so hot. He wins even when he's not trying. His other skills are ad sales. Would you like to introduce yourself to Dan, John?
Morning. Thanks, Cass. I'm generating a reputation. I might just start earning a living out of it, entering quizzes or something. John Forbes, ad sales, small business sales specialist. That's what I do.
Thank you. John Mather, our money is safe with you. Would you like to introduce yourself to Dan?
Hi, my name is John Mather. I can make any business more profitable. I've got various change programs I have, and I can assess what things you're not doing quite correctly, what other things, what opportunities you're missing, and I can rework your business if you want to make your business more profitable. That's John Mather. I'm a small business consultant. Please call me if you want to make your business more profitable.
Thank you, John. And Charlotte. Morning, Charlotte. How you doing?
Morning, I'm good. So I'm from Sleeping Giant Media. We are a digital marketing agency based in Folkestone. We basically do SEO, PPC and social media. So how easy you are to find on Google and your social media presence as well.
Thank you so much. Charlotte has a lot of gravitas. She used to be ex-chamber, but she was rudely poached by Sleeping Giant Media, rudely. And you know what? She's gone from success to success. So every continued success to you, Charlotte. And last but by no means least, Sam. Sam, thank you so much for joining us. If I can kindly ask you to unmute and just introduce yourself to Dan.
I am Sam. I'm one of the directors of Eurobond Adhesives. We're based in Sittingbourne. We sell technical adhesives business to business for pretty much anything from sign making to medical, all sorts of things really, prop making.
Awesome, and we're delighted to have you with us. Molly, thank you very much for your patience there. Dan is now going to deliver the presentation, and he's going to have organic stops as he goes from one topic to another. Because it's a small group, we can then ask questions as we're going along, or pose something that hopefully Dan will be able to answer.
Hopefully.
If I could kindly ask you guys to stay on screen with us, because it just makes it more personable. I mean, we get it that Amazon come to the door and you have to go away, and we get it that you have to top the coffee up, but it just makes it a little bit more personable, especially in a small group that we have today, to make this interactive and really, really useful for you guys. Dan, without further ado, we are absolutely delighted to have you with us. You've been a loyal chamber member. Thank you for giving up your time and sharing your skills with our guests and with our members today. And the floor is yours, sir.
Thank you very much. Lovely to meet you all. Can you all hear me okay? Just quick thumbs up. Perfect. Yeah, so it's really good to be with you. And these kind of topics are quite tricky to cover off, because on one level there's going to be some technicality and some sort of phrases or terms you haven't used, you may not have heard of, you may not implement in your business. So if I start talking in perceived Greek, then please put a question in the chat, or wait till there's a natural stop and then let's chat about it. I don't want to geek out at you for the next half an hour or so, which I could be in danger of doing. Then you're going to have Charlotte and a couple of others that are going to be like, that's basic, Dad. Everyone knows that. So, I'm going to have some really advanced people in the room, and some people in the room are like, what on earth is this guy on about? But yeah, so hopefully we'll get through it together. It should be quite interesting. It's going to be quite fast paced. Now, there was a bit of an anomaly and a bit of a misadvertising in the title, because it said 5 vital metrics. I've actually got 9. It's not the Chamber's fault, it's my fault. When I was preparing for this session, I was going through some of the activities we've been working on with clients recently and thinking, actually, there's 9 I want to go through here. So I'll go quickly, and I'm going to give you a little bit of methodology, a little bit of method in the madness before we get to them. Just a little bit for those who don't know Wonderful, very, very quickly. We call ourselves a digital agency for a complex world. And I think, coming out of 2020 into 2021 and where we find ourselves now, in one level, things have changed a lot for businesses, for sales and marketing teams, and how we market and how we communicate ourselves changed a lot. For many of our clients, they were used to 100% face-to-face. We work with clients, all over the UK and across the world, and many of them were very traditional businesses. They go to an exhibition, you go to an event, you'd host a seminar, and all of a sudden in March 2020, that all changed. So for many of our clients, it's been a real shift, and that's one of the shift is what I want to talk about today. This seminar or webinar, as it is nowadays, is not for those people that are selling e-commerce necessarily, or for those people that are selling online. It's for us to all understand how the online process works and what we can measure in our business in terms of, what does our digital business look like? And I think the first thing I want to say to you is that we all now, most of us in this room, virtually now have a digital business as well as a physical business. We've had to learn what it means to become digital. Now, that's not just digital marketing. That could be anything from how we get a contract signed to how we communicate with our staff, because everyone's remote, and we've had to become digital by definition. So hopefully there'll be principles we'll go through today that'll be relevant for each and every one of you. But as I said, as I go through the session, if anything's a little bit not making sense, then please feel free to put it in the chat or ask me a question at the drop-off points. So there's 4 kind of sections for today. First off, I want to look at an overview of inbound marketing. So I want to just discuss at a high level what inbound marketing means and how that's kind of changed the way that we interact with customers and consumers. And hopefully what I want you to do is to wear 2 hats in this session. One is the hat in the business that you work in, but secondly, I want you to wear a consumer hat. I'm assuming most people here consume content online. Most of us here search things online. We use Google, we use social channels, we go to news articles. So I'm assuming that most of us are also consumers of online content. So I want you to wear both hats when I'm talking and think, oh yeah, I do that. Oh yeah, I like that. Or I don't like that. Because one of the mindsets between, with inbound marketing and with what we're going to discuss today is effectively understanding our customers. You know, the practices of marketing have changed a lot in the last 18 months, but a lot of the principles haven't, to be honest. So we'll go through some of that as we go through the morning. So overview of inbound marketing. Second, I want to take you through a digital marketing funnel. What does that look like? What could that look like for your business? You won't do all of this. You might only do 2 or 3 bits of this, but there's definitely a funnel, and it's understanding that funnel and what it means. Thirdly, we're going to look at knowing what to measure at each stage of the funnel. That's going to be the vital statistics. And then lastly, key takeaways. So we're going to fly through it quite quickly. And as I said, if I'm going too quickly or not making sense, then please feel free to stick it in the chat and we'll field some questions as we go along. So yeah, just inbound marketing. So what is inbound marketing? So effectively, it's a technique and a process for drawing customers to your products and services via a range of different channels. So traditionally, we're used to go into an event. You know, the Chamber of Commerce, you know, do great events, networking, education events, all sorts of events. You go there and you meet someone. You go to an exhibition and you meet someone. Inbound marketing is someone meeting you. It's finding you, engaging with you, and meeting you online. And when I say online, I don't just mean via your website. We're going to unpack that a little bit as we go through the session. So when I'm talking about online, we're talking about through emails, through your social channels, through search, being able to find you on search, through your content that could be shared on other people's channels, through your CRM, your customer relationship management system. So when I talk about your digital business and online, I'm not just talking about your website. We're talking about your whole digital footprint. So one of the first questions I want to ask you guys is a bit of homework. I'm going to give you quite a bit of homework as we go through this because I want to make this practical for you. First thing to look at in your business is, what does your digital footprint look like? So if I was to come to your house right now, I'm sitting in my front room with this very leery wallpaper that my wife has had enough of now. She's been saying for about 6 months she's going to get rid of it. If I was to come to your house, I can see the footprint of your house. What the size, front, you know, if you've got a garage, if you've got a back garden, if you've got a front garden, I can see the footprint. What does your digital footprint look like for your business? It's something that's really important to understand, because that digital footprint, your website, as I said, your emails, your social channels, your blog, your content, your LinkedIn page, your whatever it might be, your digital footprint is the world, there's the online world in which people can find your business, whether they be potential customers, whether they be potential staff members, whatever it might be. So that is a really, really key starting point. And then inbound marketing is about attracting potential customers. It's about pulling them in, hence the clues in the name, through relevant and helpful content. Now, this is something we can all do. So I think it was, you know, there's been all sorts of businesses in this session this morning. If I was to sit with you for half an hour, I guarantee I would find 3-4 bits of relevant content and engaging content for your customers, because some of you do things in a particular way. You've got a particular process. Some of you have got some really great case studies. Others of you have got, you know, a different type of service offering, or a different way of doing things. Or you're quicker, you're smarter, you're cheaper, you're faster, you're all. No, every single one of us as a business has got helpful content. But so often we get stuck in this, I don't know what to say, I've got nothing to say. I'm not really sure where I go. And so it stops us from engaging with people. It stops us from thinking, do you know what, I've got something to say. But we all have. There's a reason you're in business. There's a reason you're good at what you do. And so, you know, and people, customers nowadays want to find out about that. So let me give you the very obvious example. When you're booking a restaurant or a hotel, what do? You look for reviews. You go to TripAdvisor, you go to Google reviews, you go to wherever you find your review site, booking.com. What do? You look at the reviews. What is that? Engaging in helpful content. What does that do? It adds value. So, you know, as simple as a review, if I go to your website right now, have you got a Google My Business with loads of reviews on it? Just half a dozen reviews. That's helpful content. That adds value to a potential customer. So when I'm talking about all this kind of stuff, I want you to try and relate it to your business and to your everyday practices, because this is something, as I said earlier on, we can all do. And so, you know, that's what inbound marketing is about. It's about attracting potential customers through relevant and helpful content and adding value at every stage of your customer's journey. Because for most of us, including myself, I don't have someone come onto my website and go, I'm going to buy a website from Wonderful. They don't say that. They go onto my website, they look at our podcast, they download a white paper, they look at our case studies, they request a callback, they turn up at a webinar, they do a myriad of things before they go, do you know what? In the thousands of agencies there are in the world, and Wonderful is just one of several thousand. Are we better than anyone else? Who knows? But, you know, they look at all of that content and they go, do you know what? I like these guys. I want to work with them. So at every stage of the journey, we're having to add value to our customers. So that's what inbound marketing is. And it's about kind of bending to the customer instead of asking the customer to bend to you. So let me give you an example of what does that mean. If I go onto your website right now, as an example, how easy is it to find out your latest case studies, or the great bit of content you got going on, or what you did last week, or how to engage with you? Can I book a meeting with you? Can I have a chat with you? Can I, you know, customers, and put yourself in the mind of a customer. We've become very instant. We've become a very instant, and we've become a very now generation. I want to talk to someone now. Don't you hate it when you go on a customer service portal and you can't phone someone or you can't connect with someone? Let's not hang the banks, but banks are, you know, notorious for this. I'm having a run with my bank all the time. They keep putting my account on hold for fraud. And it's not fraud. It's just that their systems are so archaic that any transaction that they can't see is a normal thing. They just put the whole account on hold. And so anyway, it's another story. But, you know, nowadays, it's about us understanding our customers and understanding their journey to reach us, which is why channels like LinkedIn have become so important, because it's a general playing field for most of our customers, or clients, as we call them. So the methodology is around attracting, engaging, and delighting, which we're going to unpack. These all just sound like words at the moment. We'll unpack this as we go along. And so what does that mean in real terms? Is that what in marketing speak, we talk about turning from strangers to engage people, to customers, to promoters. So it's from people that have never, the ultimate journey of winning a new customer, of measuring success, is someone didn't know me, but they were looking for me. They engaged with me, they bought from me, and now they promote me. Wouldn't we all love clients like that and customers like that? You know, and I'm sure many of you have that. I'm sure you've got that. I'm sure if I came into your business right now and said, right, tell me about your best customers, you'd explain that. Oh, yeah, we connected about 5 years ago and I did a proposal for them and I picked up some work from them. They've been working with me ever since. And yeah, every year they spend a bit more with me. And actually, do you know what? They referred me last year to someone else. That's the ideal customer, right? That's the ideal client. So the question is, can we do that online? Because many of us, as I said, have been used to traditional ways. Even, you know, for me, I run a digital agency, as you know, and yet most of what I historically do is very face-to-face. You know, we meet with people, we do strategy sessions, workshops. I help them with their business, and then they give me business. That's the kind of way that we work. And so I've had to learn to do that online, even as a digital business. So what does that kind of look like? So there's three main areas here we're going to discuss today, and they all fit into loosely fit into one of these categories. Awareness, so in other words, people being aware of you. It's called the stuff in digital. I'm going to get into sort of digital marketing geeky talk now. It's called the top of the funnel. So if you can imagine your online business like a funnel, at the top of the funnel there's awareness. Am I aware of you? I am looking for a quantity surveyor. I am looking for a digital market. I'm looking for a landscape gardener in Kent. I am looking for a digital marketer, an SEO consultancy in Kent. Can I find you? Am I aware of you? I'm searching for you. I'm looking for you. Can I find you? And if so, where can I find you? That's the first stage. That's called the top of the funnel. So our awareness of our digital business is down to a few things. One is, what is your digital footprint? Can I find you on LinkedIn? Can I find you in search? Can I find you on reviews? Can I find you on comparison sites? Can I find you on blogs and news, wherever? The second area is obviously consideration. And again, put yourself in the mind of a customer. You do this. If you're searching for something, you search for it. You go onto the website, and let's be honest, how quickly do you make a judgment whether that business or that brand is good or not? 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 20 seconds, a minute, 5 minutes if we're really searching. You go onto a website, and then I'm going to explain this in a minute, called user journeys. And if you can't find what you need within what, give yourself a time, give yourself a number in your head. I know I'm generally a little bit impatient because I'm time poor. So I'm 30 seconds. If I can't find it, if I can't navigate there, and the thing that I search for, I can't find, I won't consider purchasing. I will go elsewhere. Why? Because the competition online is really tough. Why? Because when I typed that search in, landscape gardener in Kent, and I found 5 of them, I've clicked on the top 3. But if I can't find one of the top 3, I'll go to 4 or 5. Well, I'm one of those multi-tab people, which is a nightmare. I go on all 5 at the same time and tab through. But consideration is massive, and consideration is what we're going to look at a little bit as we go through. And obviously purchase, how do we get people to purchase from us? How can I purchase from you online in a simple way? What does purchase mean? We're going to look at that a little bit later on. Because for most of us, we're not e-commerce businesses. For most of us, a purchase means we have to have a meeting, go through a pitch process or proposal process, sometimes tender for the work, and then we get the job. So we're not asking people to purchase online. So what are we asking them to do online? That's the question. Have you actually maybe even considered that? What are you asking people to do? So let's get into the kind of the vital statistics that we're going to look at. Now, as I mentioned to you before, we're looking at this from a kind of funnel perspective. At the top of the funnel, we're looking at the middle of the funnel and the bottom of the funnel. So I want you to think, what is at the bottom of the funnel? At the bottom of the funnel is customers. At the top of the funnel are people that don't know you, that are searching for you, that haven't found you yet, that don't know you exist. And the middle of the funnel is that people that do know you exist, but are engaging with you. So whether they're engaging with your content online, a webinar, your LinkedIn posts, your email marketing, your CRM, whatever it is, they're engaging with you. They're people that are at the consideration stage. So first thing to look at is, if you look at that diagram there, I want you just to maybe take a minute or so and think, okay, what have I got going on at the top of the funnel that is pulling people into the funnel? What is happening in my business online at the moment that is pulling people into that funnel? And if the answer is nothing, that's fine, but that's a good place to start. It's to say, well, what's my website traffic? Is my website traffic the same this year as it was last year? If I do a year-on-year search, is the website traffic the same? Is it less? Is it more? Have I even looked at it? Have I got Google Analytics in my website? If I haven't got Google Analytics in my website, that's a good place to start. Get some analytics on your website. If you, as an example, is my data in a place where I'm even talking to my customers? It's amazing the amount. Listen, just being honest, we have the same challenge all the time. We're like, oh yeah, we need to put the customers into that CRM, into that database. Or I went to an event and I picked up 20 business cards virtually or in real life. What did you do with those 20 business cards? I'm the worst person for that. They sit in my drawer somewhere, and you've met them and they sit in a drawer somewhere. It's like, well, why are they not in your CRM? Why have you not sent them an email? Why have you not? That's the kind of stuff that's at the top of the funnel. So we've all got one, whether you know it or not, or whether you like what I'm kind of saying or getting it. We've all got a funnel. We've all got it. That's how our business grows and survives. And if we want to grow our business, this is about business growth, remember, it's important we begin to think of it like a funnel. The middle of the funnel stuff. I've been on your website and I clicked on something, or I liked one of your social posts, or I opened an email. I'm now engaged with your content. What are you doing with me? Do something with me. Engage with me, mate. I'm considering now. I'm in the funnel. I've engaged with you as a business, or maybe even you put a proposal together for me and I didn't buy from you. what are you doing about me? Lapsed clients and lapsed customers in the middle of the funnel, or customers we didn't win in the middle of the funnel. They've engaged, they haven't purchased yet. They are warm leads. A lot of the time, they're warm leads. The reason they didn't purchase was because you were too expensive at that time, or they changed the brief, or they did it in-house. These are all the pain points I go through, and I better stop, otherwise it becomes a counseling session. But, you know, kind of, there's all sorts of reasons why people don't purchase from Wonderful, and I find it frustrating all the time. But I realize they're engaged. There's a reason we made it at the top 2 or the top 3 in that tender process. What am I doing with them? Am I ignoring them for the next 6 months, or am I trying to win other business from them? You see, we've all got a funnel. We've all got a digital funnel. So what emails are they getting? Are they getting an invite to an event? Are they getting an invite to this webinar? Chamber of Commerce webinar, not a great example. Are they should be chamber members if they're in Kent, of course. You know, well, what's you know, what am I doing to engage those people? And then lastly, bottom of funnel, what do my sales look like month on month, on year, and not just sales as in new customers, but how am I creating advocacy, which we'll go on to in a little bit later. So hopefully, I'm going to stop there. Does anything that I've said there so far kind of not make sense, or you want any more explanation or something? Just feel free to, and I'm trying not to be too geeky, but feel free just to ask any questions or anything at this stage. All good? Everyone seems, either I've lost everyone or everyone's on a journey with me. I'm not sure which right now.
I just checked, there's no questions in the chat at the moment, but if anyone does have any questions, obviously feel free to pop them in, and we can go through them with Dan as well as we go. But I think, oh, Dom, is that a question?
Yeah, just very quick one. The numbers that you've got there, sort of showing how the sort of everything filters down to your sort of 100 sales.
Yeah.
Are those representative of the sort of numbers you should be aiming for? Are they just literally figures just to show what your average dropout rate is?
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, so it depends. It varies industry to industry, and it does vary on historical data. So working back up, you know, so what percentage of I'll answer this a little bit. I'm about to answer the question in the next section, but I'll answer a little bit more detail in the next section. But they are general industry figures. And also the way you can tell this is you can look at it, for example, on your website to say, well, I get 1,000 unique visitors or 100 unique visitors a month. What percentage of those make an action? Is it 10% or is it 5% or is it 2%? Instantly, you can start to tell the drop-off rate. So actually, for something as simple as Google Analytics, you can tell a lot of this data straight up, you know, just by sort of understanding and reading Google Analytics in a helpful way. Now, obviously, it's easy to sit here and say that. If you've never been trained or taught how to look at Google Analytics, it's definitely worthwhile speaking to someone that can help with that, whether that be a consultant, whether that be an agency, whether that be someone, you know, obviously YouTube, there's the Google Garage, you know, we've got some great qualifications for this side of the sort of things as well. But understanding your analytics is absolutely vital. One of the things that causes angst in me as a business owner is realizing you spend so much time and effort driving traffic to your website, and then you realize that your homepage bounce rate is 70%. You're like 70% of the traffic just beggared off the homepage and bounced off. Now, it could be because it's bad quality traffic. It could be because you're getting a load of just non-relevant traffic, or it could be that your homepage is a bit rubbish. And you think, well, I've just spent all that stuff at the top edge of the funnel. But actually, when I get to the middle bit of the funnel, as engaging with the brand, I've got 70% bounce rate. You know, so you don't get hooked up on these numbers, but there are definitely sharp decreases or increases in drop-offs as you go through the funnel, for sure. Think about it yourself. Like if you're searching, you know, it's easy to put a consumer mindset on, but if you're searching for a weekend away, hotels in London, you're going to go to all the aggregators and you'll just go to the one that works and you bin everything else off. That is what consumers have become like. Consumers have become really, really hard-nosed online, and they need a reason to go through the funnel. I need to download that white paper from you. I need to see your latest case study. I need to request a call back straight away. I need live chat. I need something that's going to engage with me as a customer with your business to pull me into the funnel and stop me from going off. You know, that's the agony and ecstasy of the working from home process. And it was, in one level, it was easy when we were all in the office because the phone rang, someone picked up and answered it. Whereas now everyone's everywhere, and there's a real challenge with that. But does that answer your question? I wouldn't get hooked up on those numbers, but they are representative of industry figures. And as we go through, I'll explain a little bit more. So top of funnel, I'm going to give you 3 things in each area of the funnel to measure. Now, some of these are aligned with Google Analytics. So if you haven't got it in, on your website, have a look. Some of these are aligned with your CRM. So your database system, like there's HubSpot, there's Zoho, there's Sugar, there's lots of free CRMs available. If you haven't got a CRM in place, please feel free to talk to me. I'll give you some advice on it. I'll ask my team to give you some advice on what's best for your business, but it's absolutely vital. I suppose my question to my team is always like, what's that piece of data worth to you? If Fred at company X buys from you, or Mary at company Y buys from you, what's that worth to you? And they go, oh yeah, well, Fred or Mary, they've got a marketing budget of 50 grand. If we picked up that'd be brilliant. Well, treat Fred or Mary properly then. Make sure they're getting the right content. Make sure they're in CRM. Make sure they're getting value from you. Don't treat Fred or Mary like an email address. Treat them like a consumer. So CRMs are really, really important and powerful for this whole session that we're going through. So I'm going to give you 3 kind of key things to measure at each area. First one, a little bit geeky, and Charlotte will know this very well, is search visibility. So what is search visibility? What search visibility basically means is the total visibility of your website for all keywords online. So if your website is found for 10 keywords, you might only be ranked number 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 for all of those 10, but the total visibility of your website might be higher than your competitors. So it's what we often get hooked up on is keywords. I want to be number 1 for landscape gardening in Kent. And you think, okay, great, you're number 1 for landscape gardening in Kent. And that's a high volume search phrase, but that's the only search phrase you're found for. You've got nothing else for long tail it's called, or nothing else for anything else. That's the only one. So yes, that's great for that keyword ranking. That's the only keyword you're found for. When actually you find your competitors, your top 3 competitors are found for 10 keywords and their total visibility is bigger than yours. So total visibility is an interesting metric because it actually helps to benchmark your digital footprint against your competitors. Now, there are online tools you can do that with, and there are great agencies and consultants you can speak to and say, could you do an SEO audit for me? Could you do something like that for me? That would really help find out my visibility, because that's such a good benchmark. Now, just before I move on, what I want to just say to you is I'm giving you like kind of some key metrics. There are hundreds, but I'm trying to keep it really simple and also give you things you can go away and action. So an action here is know your digital footprint and find out what your search visibility is. Because you might be quite surprised. So for Wonderful, for example, we're not indexed 1, 2, or 3 for loads and loads of keywords, but our total search visibility is quite high compared to lots of our competitors. Not people like Sleeping Giant, because they obviously fantastic at doing this stuff. But our search visibility is very good. So I look at that and go, well, if you want to engage with Wonderful, there's loads of ways you can find us. There's loads of keywords and phrases that we're optimized for, and long ones and short ones. So you should be able to find us. Second one, number 2, is user journeys. Now, this is a bit complex, but really simple. When I go to your website as a starting point, where are you driving the traffic to? If everything's going to your homepage, for an example, most of our websites, our homepage is the main entry point, it's called. What's the journey? Tell me the journey you're taking me on. Where do you want me to land, and how quickly do you want me to get there? They're called user journeys. So if you go onto the hotel website and you can't book a hotel at the top of the homepage, you've lost them on the user journey. Because what do you want on a hotel website? You want to be able to book the hotel. Simple. When I come onto your website and I want to find a shame, I keep picking a landscape garden example. It's not personal. It's just that it's in my head. Now, if I want to find a landscape gardener in Kent and I want to make an inquiry, I don't want to be able to go 6 clicks before I can make an inquiry. It's not a great user journey. Or if I click on you show me latest case study, see our latest example, and I click on it, I read the case study and I get to the bottom of the page, there's nothing for me to do. What do you want me to do? Where do you want me to go? Does the journey end there? So put yourself in the mind of your customers. Say, what are the journeys I want my customers to go on when they hit my website? What are those journeys? What do I actually want them to do? You know, so if you go onto the homepage of of Wonderful's website now, at the bottom of it is book a meeting link, and there's live chat. And why? Because I want you to either book a meeting or engage over live chat, or to go into somewhere and book a meeting. If you want to find out more, book a meeting. Engage. If you've got questions, go onto the live chat. You know, that's the kind of journey I want to encourage our customers to go on. So it's something you can do just visibly, just with your eyes and your brain. Go on the website and go, if I was a customer, could I find out what we do, how we do it, why they should buy from us, and most importantly, how to engage with us? Could I find that out really simply? Yes or no? If the answer is no, then it's kind of looking at that and saying, what changes do I want to make? You know, one of the best ways of doing that is ask your customers. Say, go onto my website, Fred or Mary, have a look. Does it work? Is it simple? Does it make sense? Go onto my social channels. Does it make sense what we do? Or is it us just eating our lunch and the pictures of our dogs? You know, that's all great. It's great for brand and personality, but you know, you might have potential customers there as well. So user journeys is a key one. Another one to look at is referral traffic. So that shows you what your digital footprint looks like. Are you getting people clicking on your website from, and it's amazing the amount of times people are surprised. They go, oh, wow, 20% of our website traffic comes from LinkedIn. And you go, yes, because you do loads on LinkedIn and it's good content and people like it. Or, oh, wow, only 4% of our web traffic comes from emails, but I send out thousands of emails each month. Well, that's fine, but they ain't clicking through to your website. You know, if that's a key call to action, you know, click here now, or, you know, and they're not clicking here now. We've got to change it up. We've got to switch it up. So key referral traffic is quite an interesting one. Very simply, where your traffic is coming from. So if I was, you know, it's really, really simple stuff. So if I was to say to you, show me a digital footprint, show me where it's coming from, that's referral traffic. Does it all make sense so far? Is that good? And that will give you a little bit of an overview of the top of the funnel stuff. You know, can I find you? Can I, you know, how do I get to you? And where am I coming from? It's as simple as that. Now, the middle of the funnel, so I'm engaging with you now. What are some of the vital stats I need to look at when I'm engaging with you? Number one, I mentioned this already, is bounce rate. It does my head in. This is honestly one of my bugbears in you know, because we build probably 3-4 websites a month, and we do umpteen digital stuff, you know, lots of digital stuff a month. I get onto someone's web, yeah, but I want it to be a big full page image, and I want nothing on it, just a big image on the homepage. Yeah, that's great. That's great, but then no one knows what to do next. You want this big, beautiful image of this, you know, beautiful new machine that I've bought. Great. You want a full page image of the new machine you bought, and your customer goes onto your website and goes, what do I do? Because there's just a big image of a JCB in front of me. What do I do? What do you want me to do? Tell me what to do. Tell me where to go next. And so what ends up happening is our bounce rate on our website, if it's above 40%, it's generally not, and that's a generalization. So all stats are there to be, you know, to be manipulated and pulled apart. But generally, if you've got a bounce rate of above 40% on any of your key landing pages, it could be improved. It's not doing great. So look at the bounce rate again, Google Analytics, look at the bounce rate on your homepage, on your key landing pages. You know, if you've got like a landing page where you're driving people to, which has got download a white paper, and you're spending all this time and energy and driving traffic to that landing page, what's the bounce rate? You get a 90%, 80%, it's usually higher on campaign pages. But if you've got a very high bounce rate, that literally means you're not, you know, you got people are just hitting it and exiting it. Not great. So don't just focus on traffic. Don't just focus, if I just drive more traffic, spend more money, it'll all be okay. Look at performance. and bounce rate is a really key and interesting around performance. Now, we're going to get into some more marketing and sales stuff now. Question for you guys to answer. How many marketing qualified leads are you generating each month? What is a marketing qualified lead? It's someone that has engaged with your business and they have chosen to give you their contact details or their details, or to engage with you based on some content that you've served them. So they've chosen to sign up to one of your webinars, or they've gone onto they've clicked on one of your email campaigns, and they've gone onto the landing page and said, yes, I'm interested in a free audit. Or they've gone onto your website and they've said, request a callback, or they've gone onto your website, they've downloaded the case study, or what, I'm giving you lots of examples, so on and so on and so forth. That's a marketing qualified lead. That's someone that said, I trust you enough and value that content enough, or that call to action enough, to give you my details. That's not a sales lead, that's a marketing qualified lead. A sales lead is someone who's a sales qualified lead, which we'll come on to now, is someone who said, I want a proposal from you. I want to take that to the next stage. I'd like you to quote for this or tender for this. So the really simple benchmark is, how many MQLs are you generating each month? So look at the last 6 months, and if you can, if you've got that kind of data, it might be on a diary, it might be in your, in your paper diary, it could be anywhere. How many marketing qualified leads have you generated each month for the last 6 months? Bearing in mind, I know we're in a bit of a fun, we're in a massively transitional time, coming through COVID and different working practices, so on and so forth. But, it's a really, really good way of seeing how your digital business is working. Where did those leads come from? The next question is, how many of those leads turned into sales qualified leads? So in other words, we could be doing loads and loads of great marketing. Dan Maudhub does a webinar every single day, and he gets 20 people every single day for a month. What's 20 times 20? That's 400 leads a month, marketing qualified leads. They've signed up, they're on the webinar, they're loving it, I hope, but I get 0 sales qualified leads. So my marketing qualified leads is great, but my conversion from MQLs to SQLs is terrible. So why is it terrible? What have I done? What's Dan done wrong? He's really boring, don't really care what he says, he's really irrelevant, or he's just lazy, just didn't follow up. He just didn't follow the thing up. He bothered to get his great webinar going and everyone turns up to it, but he doesn't say thank you afterwards, doesn't follow them up, doesn't have a follow-up call. So how does that look for you? I'm painting myself a very bad picture here, by the way. I hope I'm better than that. But how about you? How does that look? How many MQLs have you generated each month over the last 6 months? And how many of those what percentage turned into a sales qualified lead? And those that didn't turn to sales qualified lead, why? What was it? They weren't interested. They didn't find out. For most of us, myself included, the numbers are small enough for me to basically be able to find out. Like, I hate losing a tender. I hate losing a pitch. I'm one of those grumpy bears when that happens. But one of the things I've learned to do over the years is humble myself and ask the person why we lost it. And almost to the point where I'm annoying. I'm like, please tell me what you didn't like about me or about the agency. What was it? Were we too expensive? Did you not like our account managers? You obviously love the MD, but what was it? What else didn't you like? Because I want to find out, why didn't they, because why? I want them to convert. I want my business to grow. At the end of the day, I'm here for the business to grow. So, measuring your MQLs and your SQLs is really, really important. One of the key metrics is time. How long does it take for me to turn a marketing lead into a sales lead and then to close it? Because that way you'll then be able to build a sales funnel. Then you'll know how to actually build a sales funnel. So you go, do you know what? When I put out that webinar, I usually get about 20 people that sign up, and I get about 3 people that I talk to afterwards. But they always, if I talk to them in the first 24 hours, I get a call with them. I get 3, generally an average over the last 6 months, I get 3 people I get a call with, and then one of them turns into a sales qualified lead because they ask for something. They ask me to quote for something. Okay, that's a funnel. There we go. We've got ourselves a funnel. So you remember at the beginning, I said we've all got a funnel. We have got a funnel, or if we think about it in that way. So that's the middle of funnel stuff. Now, the bottom of funnel stuff is when we have won a customer or won a client, we've got to start to look at the mechanics of how we measure the success of that. So number one is our attrition or our churn rate. So it's one thing to win a customer, but our churn rate, or attrition as it's called, is the number of customers who stop using your service or buying your products over a set period of time. So it's, and this is again wonderful. I'm guilty of this. You put so much energy into winning that customer, but then you look back over 12 months and go, do you know what? We won 12 customers, for argument's sake, over 12 months, but actually we lost 6 because this one had some financial challenges. This one, you know, went to another agency. So actually your growth rate was 6 customers, not 12, because your attrition was 50%. Does that make sense? So I'm trying to give you, so people don't look at that. People don't look at the fact that, you know, your attrition, you know, your churn rate is a really key statistic when looking to grow your business, you know, because you, as I said, you could win 12 and lose 6. You haven't won 12, you've only won 6. It's as simple as that. The metrics are as simple as that. Number 2, I'm coming to land now, is cost per acquisition. So what's the total cost to acquire that new customer? So often it's quite high when you're trying to get a marketing qualified lead. I've done this post on social media. I've been out on LinkedIn. I've been to this event just to get someone to kind of buy from me, or to engage with me, sorry. What does it cost to win that customer? I often do sessions on sort of sales and acquisition costs. So like, if I was to give you a £1,000 order right now, would you spend £100 to get that order? Would you spend £200 to get that order? Would you spend £500 to get that order? Would you spend £900 to get that order? Because out of that £1,000 order I give you, you're then going to upsell me another £10,000. So spending £900 to get that £1,000 is actually, does that make sense? So looking at your cost per acquisition and the lifetime value of that customer is absolutely vital. So look at each and every one of your customers and say, what is their value worth? When I get that marketing qualified lead from company X, from Fred at company X, or Mary at company Y, I know that lead is potentially worth X amount. I'm going to spend more to win that business. I'm going to do what is right and relevant in my industry to win that business, not just treat them like everyone else. And again, we can all do that. And then retention rate is the last thing to look at. We've kind of vaguely discussed that. You know, that's quite an important one. Now, I'm going to just quickly skip through here because of time. We've only got 10 minutes left. But just to give you an example of one of our clients that we did this for recently, and very much, you know, from top of funnel right through to sales. They're a cloud native company. What on earth is cloud native? I'm still not 100% sure I fully 1,000,000% understand it, but it's like they basically deal with big organizations and help them to move their business into the cloud and build the whole cloud technology piece. No digital strategy, no clue what to do. They said, right, we're going to do a white paper. And I said, you're going to do a white paper and no one's going to listen to it. So we took them through this whole journey from outreach to downloading content, to attending a webinar, to a follow-up meeting, into a sale. And the results were really strong. Were very strong because we took the client through every single stage of that journey. I'm not going to go through the numbers with you, but we took them through every stage of that journey where the customer, who was a high value tier 1 global brand, was engaged, and they engaged with Container Solutions, not their competitors, at every stage of their buying cycle. And that was online and offline as well. So key takeaways from this, you know, just coming to land now, the last slide, key takeaways. And there's a booking link there if you do want to chat to me more. You know, if any of this hasn't made sense, you want to chat through one of those areas of the funnel in more detail, please feel free to book a link in with me. I'll put it in the chat later. But yeah, do a data audit, understand your current footprint. As I said right at the beginning, know what your digital house looks like. How's it performing? How's your website performing? Ask your auntie. You know, my Auntie Sue, is famous at Wonderful because she likes everything and she comments on everything. But then she still says to me, I don't understand what you bloody well do. That's exactly how my auntie would describe it. And I say, well, have a look, auntie. What do you think? Because if my auntie can understand it, then you know, it works. You know, so it's the whole keep it simple, stupid principle, KISS principle. Number 2 is get a CRM in place. Get your data working for you. If Fred at company X could be worth £50,000 to you this year in sales, don't put his business card in the bottom of your drawer. If Mary at company Y could be worth £50,000, what are you doing with Mary at company Y to engage her, to make sure that she's engaging with you all the time so that she can become a customer? And then lastly, set up your sort of reporting or data dashboard. Set up a way of being able to monitor this, even if it's offline for now, but you've got to monitor this. Monitor your MQLs, your SQLs, your retention rate. If you've only got 20 customers or 10 customers or 5 customers, it should be easy to do. If you've got a few hundred because you're a volume business, set up a way online or a spreadsheet, a way of being able to do it. I mean, we've got a dashboard called Omni BI, which is where we put everyone's data into a single dashboard. And it means at any given point, you can see all those performance metrics in one dashboard, and it helps our clients massively because literally in a series of graphs and charts, they can see exactly how their business is performing. But, you know, whether you've got an Omni BI or a spreadsheet, it's largely the same thing. You know, just make sure you can measure your performance consistently and constantly. But as I said, look, I've gone through this, you know, and just in terms of engaging, wonderful to proof of the pudding. If you want to engage us a little bit more, we've got a podcast. You know, please go onto the website, look at the podcast, come to one of our lunch and learn sessions, download one of our white papers and engage. Feel free to test us out and engage with us more as well. You know, we very much try and practice what we preach. We're not perfect at it, but we do try and, you know, keep our customers and clients engaged and looking at things. Our podcast goes down really well because we talk to people, you know, quite senior level people about their lives and careers and highs and lows. And yeah, that gets really good reviews and ratings. So thank you so much for listening. I hope that's been valuable. I think we've got about 5 minutes left for Q&A. I went on a bit long as always, but 5 minutes left for Q&A. Any questions you got? Thank you, Molly and Kaz.
Dan, good heavens above, a lot of information there, and something certainly that we will reflect on. If I could open it up, guys, are there any questions that you would like to pose to Dan whilst we have him here today and we've got a little bit of time? Unmute and just ask him directly. No?
No questions. Well,
no. Well, you've said, from Dom.
I've got a quick question. So if you're a sort of small business starting out, do you think with the tools that are available online, you could get the ball rolling yourself, and then once you start getting the bigger turnover, you could hand over to a company like yourself to sort of manage the bigger volume? Would that be a way of going?
Yeah, definitely. And I you know, I mentioned something a minute ago about keep it simple. You know, I've gone through loads of stuff, you know, that kind of, I could take this workshop and do it in a 4-hour workshop, an 8-hour workshop. There's a lot there, but I wanted to give you guys a really clear and good overview. But start simple. Let's build a funnel through LinkedIn as an example, you know, or write a blog post or something real simple that you can begin to test the audience with and test it. As with everything, test it. And so, you know, put a couple hundred words together or get someone to write it for you. I'm terrible at writing, you know, so I just put a lot of bullet points and get people to write it for me, you know, and then test it, put it out on LinkedIn, put it out to your email, see who responds, you know, see at the top of the funnel, see who's responding and engaging. Then you're beginning to build that funnel. If you get 5 people that click through and you know those 5 people, drop them an email and go, mate, why did you click through on that? What was interesting about it? Find out. I always, honestly, I think people forget that actually asking people is one of the keys to success. Just what did you enjoy about that? You know, the Auntie Sue principle, remember that one? You know, what did you enjoy about that? What didn't make sense about that? Am I talking Greek? You know, like even today, I'm trying not to use buzzwords because my industry is absolutely full of buzzwords and acronyms and terms, middle of funnel this and top of funnel that. It's all just talk. You know, it's basically engage with people, just engage with people, do something on LinkedIn, run a social campaign. We've all got data. If I was to come into a business right now, I would find 100 bits of data in your business right now. I almost guarantee it. I won't put money on it, but I almost guarantee it. You know, kind of, we've all got business cards and we've all got current customers and we've all got previous family and friends. Test it on them. Find out what works. So I think the answer to your question is, yeah, definitely trial things yourself. You know, trial what doesn't work as well as what does work. Because this is all, like, there's method in the madness, but at the end of the day, who knows why people buy what they buy? I've just been honest with you. Half of this, what I've just said, doesn't make any sense, because all of a sudden it gets random lead from left field, or someone that heard of you. I get leads from people that have known me for 5, 10, 15 years. And they go, oh yeah, Dan, I haven't spoken to you in ages, but I've just moved to this business. I think, but I haven't spoken to you for 5 years. But he's engaged with me. They know me. They've known me from the past. So you've all got people from the past in the business sense that you can engage with. So LinkedIn's a great channel for doing that, but you can definitely trial it yourself. Get Google Analytics set up properly on your website. And if you can find someone to set that up for you, then that's a real big help, because it kind of shows you how things are working. Does that make sense, Dom?
That's super and very, very useful and most comprehensive answer, Dan. We've got a few minutes left. Are there any other questions from the floor? No, that's super. What I will, oh, John, Mr. Forbes, yeah.
Less a question, more of an observation, really. On the picture that you showed quite early on with the funnel, it was really interesting to see somebody that works in a sales and marketing arena actually sticking some numbers to that. Now, even if they were only sort of guideline figures, you go to anybody and say to them, what do you expect or anticipate as your salespeople to be converting as a percentage, you know, as a conversion rate? And nobody ever gives you a straight answer. There are all manner of experts in their field and nobody ever gives you the numbers. So it's really interesting just to see somebody come up with some tangible figures that says you can start out with 100,000, and by the time you get down to sales, you're going to be looking at like a 20% conversion ratio or thereabouts, because nobody ever talks about this stuff.
That's interesting. Yeah, that's interesting.
Really interesting to see.
Yeah, maybe we should have a conversation. I know we were looking to catch up afterwards about this, because in my mind, that's actually in the modern day, it's bunkum, because you can actually find those numbers online. So you've got industry statistics, you've got historical data from your own business, you've got, you know, you've got empirical data, and you've got kind of, you know, so you got to ask 5 sales guys, what's your average hit rate? You know, what's your hit rate been over the last 6 months? If they got, yeah, but like you can use, yeah, I mean, HubSpot, to be fair, HubSpot are very good at providing research and data. So we're HubSpot partners. So we do get a lot of our data from them. So what they do is they aggregate it across their customers and look at average closure rates, average hit rates. And so, yeah, I mean, you should, in today's world, it should be more data driven than it is. Absolutely. It really should.
Yeah, and yeah.
An interesting conversation, gentlemen. At the end of the day, whatever data you extrapolate from whatever source, it's got to be relatable and pertinent to your business. Dan, thank you so much for your time. Guys, please do connect with Dan on LinkedIn, and Dan is more than happy to schedule in a discovery meeting just to take the conversation further and to see what help he can be. All of our presenters, ultimately, their aim isn't to sell to you, although that would be nice, but it's to offer support. It's to offer support to the membership and to ensure that you're reaching the potential that we know that you can do. Without further ado, I just want to give you a very quick shout out for Thursday's event, which is Business Talks with Kaz Macklin, which features the historic dockyard. It's free to chamber members, so we're looking forward to that. These events would never run smoothly without the help of our team. And as always, I'd like to acknowledge Molly Hall for pulling things together, keeping us in line and keeping us on track. Thanks also to you, also to Dan, our keynote speaker. I've been Kaz Macklin, Kent Invicta Chamber. Take care. Have a great afternoon.